On this adventure with Lukimyu, we set sail for Townsville, but not before...
Oh no, that is water, my friend.
And we lose all DC power. Any power up here?
Can't believe I'm headed back, staring out the window down at the train tracks.
On board the lagoons, you've basically got 3 levels of redundancy if you lose your steering. So the steering system here is operated through a series of steel cables that then primarily drive the port side. The port side to the starboard side is then connected by a solid bar. And if in the event that your steering failed, so that steel cable was to break, we could still steer the boat through 2 methods. One is by using the autopilot, because that has its own hydraulic ram that directly acts upon that bar. And then the last resort is we had an emergency tiller. Now we got out the emergency tiller the other day, and it was made of mild steel and had completely rusted to nothing. This is where the emergency tiller goes. Simply undo this using a winch handle, and it slots down there. At the top of the rudder post, there is a slot for the emergency tiller to go into. So we want the new emergency tiller to be made out of stainless steel, so it doesn't just rust away to nothing. What I've done is I've built a little template out of wood. There we go. Perfect. I then took the template over to Alec at Airlie Welding. He's the guy who originally did our stainless steel work for the solar. The trick now is, have they got it right and will it fit in?
Is it in?
Yep.
Don't you hate it when people ask you that, Jamie?
Wouldn't want to be steering a boat like that for days on end, but at least we now have an emergency system.
We are off to Townsville. Not today, because the weather's shiteful. Maybe tomorrow. And so I've broken it up into our stops. Voila. So Cape Gloucester probably tomorrow. Lots of capes really. Cape Gloucester, Cape Upstart, Cape Bowling Green, Cape Cleveland, or probably just actually straight to Townsville.
Weather permitting, we are meant to be making our way towards Townsville tomorrow, but it's still absolutely pissing with rain, and it's been pretty windy, but it's going to calm down over the next few days, so we're thinking we may still push off tomorrow, which means shopping in the morning and then sort of heading off, getting some fuel, and then be out of here by about 10:30. In the meantime though, because it is this sort of weather, it's actually getting almost cold. It's 24 degrees outside. I thought I'd crack a bottle of red wine. So there's our nice South Australian Penfolds Max Shiraz. However, it's not yet 5 o'clock.
Jamie said no. Wait. So I'm waiting, but I'm bored.
There it is. Just, you're not allowed to drink it until we get to 5. You can smell it.
I think it's off, babe.
No.
Hey.
That's not off. That's beautiful. It's now 5 o'clock. We're allowed to drink.
It's very nice. That is water, my friend. Why do we have water? Oh no, not the panko breadcrumbs. Oh, you can chuck them. Alright.
In through the mast,
Hartwell or air conditioning?
No.
Wet in there?
I don't think so.
Yep. It is wet in there,
Yeah,
Jamie.
it's not from the air conditioning though.
Are we sure?
Yeah, well, the air conditioning's got its own little stainless steel thing it sits in.
Is it draining? Yeah, it is draining. Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's not how we saw our day going.
Well, there's not a lot we can do about it. To be fair.
Except pull everything out and dry it. So this is from the pissing rain. It's not from a leak in the boat, per se.
Can you turn that off?
I mean, you try and keep the water out of the boat from coming in from below. You don't think about it from above.
But it is the reason why we have most things in plastic containers. So, although it might be a bit damp in there, it's not going to lose anything because it's all in plastic.
Is that comfortable?
Take some more water out and then take the backing off this pantry and then we can get more water out. Somehow water gets down our mast.
Rainwater.
Rainwater, it's fresh water. I've had the pleasure of tasting this water before to check if it was fresh.
You didn't do that today, did you?
No, I know it's fresh water. If this is salt water, we've got a lot more problems. So now that the wall's out, what have you found? Can you see a
Not
source?
much. Just there's water.
Can you see a source?
Not really.
And that's why we've got the black mat and the plastic containers. Because it's not our first rodeo and it's leaked before.
It's not very
Well, we
good.
couldn't last time either.
So in pissing with rain, that's the only thing that's different, and we've got water.
And when you say pissing, like just a drizzle, Jamie, or like torrentially all day?
Sheets of rain. Well, it's 12 hours later, and it is still absolutely bucketing down out here. In between 20 to 40 knots of wind, depending on when the gusts come through.
No, Jamie, no. It's freezing in the boat. I've got long pants on and you've turned the air conditioning on in the bedroom. No.
I'm just trying to dry things out a bit.
No, you're
considering
not. You're trying to make
the
it cold.
pantry is completely full of water.
The lid is on the pantry.
This is currently our pantry, right? I think it's going to be a challenge, to say the least, to make coffee in the morning.
You're up. I made coffee today.
That's just wrong. Well, I think that the pantry era has largely dried out now. Could probably do it a little bit longer, but it's time to put that away so that I've got a place to sit down.
So it's a very small pantry on a very small boat from a storage perspective, but this is essentially everything that we have on the boat, other than like cereal-y, breakfasty stuff. That is pretty much all you need to cook. Probably about 80 or 95% of the stuff that we have at home. So they're in plastic tubs because that compartment has leaked before, and it keeps them sorted into like shelves in your pantry so you know where stuff is. So these are all sauces, so soy sauce, fish sauce, ketchup mayonnaise, chili sauce, oyster sauce, hoisin, gochujang Korean pastes, smoky Tabasco rice wine vinegar. And then in here is bits and pieces really, so extra tomato paste, pantry cream, whipping cream, emergency coconut milk sachets in case we run out of cans, pasta lives in here, fried shallots for Asian dishes, that sort of thing. This is also a bit of bits and pieces. The vinegars live in here. The world's best mayonnaise lives in there. It's really good because it's a pantry item. You don't have to put it in the fridge till you open it. And then like some sambols and some pestos and stuff like that. Pickled jalapenos live in there. And then from a cans, we don't actually have a lot in cans because we don't eat a lot of stuff out of cans, but tin tomatoes, chickpeas, coconut milk are 3 things we always have. Coconut cream in the little things are really good because you don't normally need a lot of coconut cream, so that's enough. Tuna for salads and stuff. Chicken stocks, I've got a couple of different chicken stocks. The little tubs of chicken stock. I normally have chicken stock cubes somewhere, don't know where they are. Real chicken stock. And then Mayploy, best curry paste you can buy in a jar, tin, can. So massaman, red curry, and then the green one is currently in the fridge. I tend not to open them all at the same time because it's got a very small fridge. So when you open green, you're eating a lot of green curry. And then at the back we've got the flowers. When we're in Asia and other countries, I normally have a lot of backup flour because I make our own bread, but no need at the moment, so I'm actually quite low on flour. And then these bits and pieces just sit randomly in the container, which is sushi rice, basmati rice and long grain rice, and then a variety of Asian noodles, rice stick noodles and egg noodles, breadcrumbs, popcorn for when kids come on board, and then your rice paper and your nori rolls for sushi. In order of how often I use them. All the time. Rarely, almost never. Most of this stuff is about, or this stuff in particular, in those things, are about adding flavour. So if you can find specialty things that you like, that store well, makes a world of difference. Otherwise you're eating tomato soup and other boring stuff. And drawer on the top of the containers so you know what they are. Otherwise you spend your whole life pulling up containers trying to figure out where your tin tomatoes are. Chickpeas.
Same with the sauces, hey?
Same with the sauces. Wraps. Don't have to go in the fridge. Ta-da! Lounge room, dining room, back together. And we are off. Bye-bye Airlie Beach, Jamie.
Yes, we just need to get fuel, and of course it's starting to rain. We set off on our 150 nautical mile journey to anchor down at Cape Gloucester for the night. We've lost all DC power. As you can see, the board's completely blank. Any power up here?
No, just the fingers.
I think it's a fuse. So I've pulled back the bed to where our batteries etc. are, and I think it's the fuse there on the battery protect. Good thing is all our 240 still works, and it's really hot and stuffy down here, so I've just turned the aircon on. And sure enough, there's the culprit.
So while Jamie was down below, being Mr. Electrician, I was hand steering because of course we lost the autopilot, and it's pretty rainy, I don't know if you can see, and I had almost a complete whiteout, so I started hand steering with the island as my waypoint, and then I lost the island. But before I did, I took a compass bearing off our manual compass to make sure that I was still going in the right direction, which we did. All went fine, head sail very unhappy, but by the time the power came back on, it had seemed that we were not going to clear that island that you can now see, that's behind me. So we've tacked, we've jibed, other way. We're going to go out to sea for a bit, when it's nice and safe, and then when we've cleared that island, we'll turn around and we'll start heading back up to Cape Gloucester again. Drama, drama, drama.
Well, we're in about 28 to 30 knots. Running with it gives us 17 to 20 apparent wind. But we're doing great speed. 10.9. Now that's humming along for us. Cape Gloucester provided a beautiful calm anchorage for the evening, and we can kick back and relax. On our second day, we departed Cape Gloucester, heading northwest for 42 nautical miles. Destination, Cape Upstart. It's a little bit overcast this morning, but we're still running with it. So, although there's a nasty wave with the tide against the wind against tide, at least those waves are behind us. Just running with the motor, getting out of this bay, and then we might put the spinnaker up.
Is he being a sacrificial anode? So Jamie can have breakfast. Having had almost no sleep.
I did make her morning coffee.
Started the engine.
going to try using the spinnaker. Now we haven't used the spinnaker since the halyard broke in the Banja Sea.
This is my suburban dream. I'm not worried about things. Breathing in.
The port side right's caught.
Copy.
My petty little worries are little spots upon the someone else.
Drop the engines.
Sleeping in. I see a little piece of happiness that could be. Oh yeah, I see a little piece of happiness of you.
Spinnakers are doing about 5 knots, depending on where we are in the surfing zone.
We've got some squalls, showers and stuff sort of surrounding the boat. Hopefully they avoid us, but it's looking pretty dark.
So it's gotten a bit of rough as the current has come sweeping around this big bloody bit of headland that sticks out. Cape Upstart, I think it is. And yeah, Jamie's deserted me. I'm sitting out here by myself in my wet weather gear in the rain while he's inside in the air conditioning. And he locked me out. Poor decision making.
That's not entirely true.
Yes, it is true. You are inside. It is air conditioning and you did lock me out and I am in my wet weather.
That part's true, but she knew I was going to be inside for a little
Didn't know I
while.
was going to be locked out. No air conditioning. In the rain.
So pleasing some people. We are now anchored down in Cape Upstart. However, we haven't had the nicest greeting. It's incredible how in the wet season the weather can change. I mean, right now it is absolutely beautiful here, and yet a few hours ago it was bucketing down. Have a look at the spot. That, if we can see it, is a sea snake. Banded sea snake. All the way out here.
Last night we stayed in Upstart Bay and the plan today was to come up here and go around into Cape Bowling Green, but we had a lovely day sailing and the current was with us, so we've decided to push through the extra 25 nautical miles. We are currently heading to Cape Cleveland, which is just inside this bay here. That's Townsville, that's Magnetic Island, so we are getting pretty close. We've got 11 nautical miles to go, so we'll probably get there around 5:30 by the time we go around this point, because we're actually going to anchor in that little spot right there, I think.
This is Cape Cleveland.
Yay! Yay! It's been a long day. We've been going for 12 hours? Yeah, 12 hours. Because we decided to skip a stop, keep going, get favourable weather conditions and favourable tides. Well worth it, don't you think?
I think so. I'm happy. I'm happy because we're having a beer now.
I'm not.
Well, you can have whatever you want. I'm definitely having a beer. Denise has got an interesting new look while she's cooking.
Corey Feldman. It's bright, look at that. Townsville, here we come. Morning.
Morning.
We are taking in the headsail so that we can actually see what is a multitude of ferries, pleasure craft and other things happening in a very busy Townsville harbour. Jamie's doing a rare bit of winching.
I just got in trouble saying it wasn't that busy and this is hardly the Singapore Strait. Nevertheless, we are pulling in the headsail. Happy wife, happy life.
How about it's just safer that way?
This is my suburban dream. I'm not worried about a thing. Breathing in, breathing in.
On the next adventure with Lukimyu,
Very much over boat ownership. It's not been any fun.
being jack of our boat jobs, we decide to dump everything to dive the SS Yongola. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe and share it with your friends.
Happiness that could be